It's looking more and more, based on the rumors that are coming out, that when Bob Melvin goes to the Giants, and that still seems like a when and not an if.
Yes.
That Mike Shildt has emerged as clearly the odds-on favorite, the leading candidate. Now, we've seen situations in the past where, the ground falls out from beneath under that last step. Something comes out.
Can't agree on a contract or something?
There are certainly hurdles to overcome, but if everything plays out as it is starting to go down the path, it looks like we'll end up where Mike Shildt will be the manager of the Padres next season.
I think I feel more comfortable with that move than I would a Ryan Flaherty or a Joe Espada or a Don Mattingly or some of the other names that have been bandied about. I do feel more comfortable with Mike Shildt. And, I like the thing that I like, and I read yesterday, is that he was integral in helping Fernando Tatis Jr. get back.
Saw that too.
He has worked with the minor leaguers. He works very closely with AJ. Now, it's interesting because the dynamics of some of the relationships that AJ Preller has had over the years, which when I think about it, it's not that uncommon. You work closely with somebody for a while, and it doesn't go the way that you want it, and then you part ways. Doesn't mean you're always going to be buddies, right, at the end of the day. So that's not that uncommon. That being said, you have to, AJ will have to trust Mike Shildt to be the skipper of this team, or whoever he hires. If it's Shildt, let's just say for argument's sake, it's Mike Shildt.
I mean, everyone feels like he's the leader in the clubhouse at least.
Sure,
so.
but my thing is, if you couldn't or didn't get along with Bob Melvin, this is maybe a decent ramp-up period that you've had with Shildt. He's been here, 2 seasons?
Well, yeah, in
3.
In a lot of ways. And again, I don't know if he's going to be the guy, and I don't know if it'll work out. But in a lot of ways, Mike Shildt is more suited for this job than even Bob Melvin was when he took it.
He's got some ramp up time with AJ Preller.
Well, yeah, he's worked in the organization, as you said, worked with players like Tatis, worked with minor leaguers, worked with AJ. He is coming off 3 years as a manager of a consistent playoff contender. Bob's been to the playoffs, but again, he was coming from teams like the A's that did it on a shoestring budget. The Cardinals are really, obviously I'm not going to compare the Padres to the Cardinals in terms of their history and the mystique around them, but in terms of the win now mentality, the Cardinals were win now when Mike Shildt was managing them, and the Padres are win now in this situation. So he's coming from a more similar situation and experience than even Bob Melvin was when he came, and where Bob Melvin had no chance to really get to know his players because of the lockout. And then, everything that kind of went on to start his tenure, Mike Shildt has this lead up, this ramp up time where he's already familiar with the organization before he even takes over. I've already talked myself into I'll be disappointed now if Mike Shildt doesn't get the job.
I'm with you.
Point.
I have too. Bryce Miller wrote yesterday, look, everybody knows in the UT, I love Bryce. Bryce said, everybody knows Preller, as always, is capable of uncorking curveballs. This hardly feels like the time, though, to be the thought contrarian or overreach. Hubris needs to hit the showers, dugout stability, and a dugout stabilizer after a parade of coaches and managers have come and gone should rank at the top of the priority list. Mike Shildt, the thing that really sold me was the Tatis stuff, helping him get back from his suspension, working closely with him. That's great. If he's got the trust of one of your superstars in Fernando Tatis Jr., he's got the trust of the other guys, I would imagine, because he's done it. He's done it at that level. He's done it successfully at that level. I'm on board. I've moved on. Yesterday was cathartic, and I was pissed. And we talked off the air, Ben. Somebody had said to you at Channel 10, I don't know, this whole Melvin and Preller thing just feels icky. And I thought about that, and I said back, I would feel ickier if Bob came back now, based on everything that we'd heard and read and saw. And I would feel ickier with those two guys trying to work it out. Doesn't mean that A.J. Preller's off the hook here or Bob Melvin's off the hook here. I'll be rooting like hell against Bob Melvin when he manages the Giants, but, at this point, I would feel ickier if they stayed